In the book of 2 Peter, there is a verse that says that the writings of Paul, the writings of Shaul, that they are difficult to understand, and that people twist them into bringing about their own destruction. If we assume that to be the case, if we assume that they are difficult to understand, and if we assume that his epistles, these epistles that he wrote to individuals, these epistles that he wrote to different congregations, that we don't really have the full picture of that context, that we don't have that same reference point that those individuals and those groups had that were receiving his letters. If we assume all of that, and that despite all of these difficult wordings and these questionable teachings, that his underlying message is that we should turn to the written Torah, that we should reject these rabbinic traditions, and that we should pay attention to the commands of Elohim, that we need to pay attention to the written Torah. If that really is his underlying message, then why not just pay attention to the written Torah? Isn't that what is supposed to be important? Why not just go straight to the source? The written Torah was supposed to be something plainly worded. It was supposed to be something that the people were going to understand just by hearing it in a public reading every 7 years. If that is the case, that the written Torah is what is important, that it is what is plainly worded, and that that's the whole point of Paul's teachings, that Paul is just trying to tell us to turn to the written Torah, to focus on the written Torah. If that really is the case, then for what reason do we need to spend all of this time, this limited amount of time that we have? We are only going to have a certain amount of time to study, to discuss, and to learn. There is only a certain amount of time that we're going to put into it. If the written Torah is what is important, then for what reason do we need to focus on Paul? Do we need to focus on these shaky explanations? Do we need to focus on figuring out exactly what he meant in his difficult wordings, in his questionable teachings? If we really are going to assume that he is just telling us the written Torah is important, to focus on the written Torah, let's go to the source. Let's focus on what's really important, the commands of Elohim. Let us learn them. Let us learn what Elohim commanded, what Elohim said. Let us learn the written Torah.